Dr. Jazz.
Where are you now?
Dr.
I'm in
Jazz.
Maribor, Slovenia.
Ah, Slovenia. Okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I emailed you that you played in Ljubljana, and I couldn't
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
that day. But
yeah.
I wanted to start this talk with your trio, with Drew and Kenny. You guys had a tour now in Europe, and
We just finished. We had yeah, it was really. I love playing with these guys.
yeah, yeah, it's
Playing
such a
with
nice trio.
yeah, I've been playing with Kenny and Drew since more than 10 years. I think we started. Yeah, the first record was 2013, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, now I think we really every tour is getting better and better, and we reach to another level, and
Mm.
it's really strong. I feel.
Did you
Yeah.
guys record something after the tour, or as a
We
new album?
recorded the last two concerts, but I was pretty sick, so I hope it's okay.
Ah, okay. Shit. Yeah, I love the tune. So I mean, I listened today to Free Hoops and Lulu Dance and Just Twist It and all those tunes. Like, what's your process when writing? Because with this trio, you have like a really this nice mix of odd meters. You seem to be comfortable there, and then you go into free sections and again into composed. What's your process when writing for this trio, especially?
Uh, I really think of Kenny and Drew, like it's really and I try to imagine which section will work great, where the bass will sound great, where the drums you can make a solo on top. And after, basically, it's funny because Free Hopes we recorded this album just when after I wrote the tunes.
Mm,
So that's why I want to really now record a fourth album where after playing the tunes for like a couple years, it goes to another level where we mix the tune, we go from one tune to another, we quote another tune, and but that doesn't mean that I don't love this record. It's
uh,
just I love the evolution of these tunes.
yeah.
And but I didn't really answer your question. How do I write? I just you know try to. I like to write for myself complete complex stuff, and so the head is always kind of hard or like
Yeah.
there's a challenge. But after I try to find, I give them, okay, well, let's work on the A part, and the tunes are pretty complex usually. But yeah, my aim is that we don't know when it's written or not.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you as a player become comfortable playing over these I remember like one of the first tours I did with Drew and Tom Rainey, and I wrote really complex music.
Yeah.
And we had complex rhythmical structures, and I know those guys played their ass off, and many times, I kind of got lost because there was no one anymore. I mean, they knew obviously where it was, but how do you get relaxed over what Kenny and Drew play? I mean, how did you practice playing over odd meters or
I,
complex
I I
structures?
really listen a lot to Drew. He's
Mm,
my rock.
mm,
And I don't really practice odd meters. I just play.
mm.
I practice at home. I practice super slowly to really
Smart,
know the
yeah.
tunes. And sometimes I play with my left hand, the odd meter or whatever, like the Lulu is 11
Yeah.
with the bass line. And but I don't. I just think sometimes I think in three, and I go over it, or in four, and after I listen to Drew, and after when I know where the one is, I can be with him.
Yeah.
I don't try to think it 11 all the time. When I improvise, yeah, I think three, 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 and two. Like
Yeah, you're just floating kind of, yeah.
both being and after. But I'm always when I improvise, maybe my attention on the bass is as much as what I'm doing, or even more.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it's funny, it's how much attention you pay, or to the drum. Like when there's a bass solo, I listen much more to Kenny. than myself. It's really how to focus, to really try to find a groove with him or rhythmical concept.
Yeah,
And I think it's also what I work with my students is how much attention. It's hard to listen to everything sometimes. And especially if you pay attention to what yourself are doing, more giving more attention to what the other is doing.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, looking forward to if the new record's coming out.
Yeah.
What you guys did. So, but you know, the main reason why we kind of hooked up was Bone Bells. You know, your record with Mary and.
With Mary.
Well, what's your story with Mary? I mean, you know, I'm a guitarist and she's incredible. And to hear you guys, piano and guitar, it can be heavy, but you guys make it flawless. Like,
Nice.
what's your story with Mary?
Mary, I always I like her a lot. I mean, I know her since she moved. I mean, she's younger than me. Maybe she's 10 years younger, or maybe even more than me. And I remember when I met her at Barbès, she was maybe 21, and she already had a sound. She already like played really original, and I always like her tunes. So when for our first album, we just decided we know each other through Zorn, through a lot of different bands. And maybe in 2015, we had a gig together just in duo. And for that gig, we just recycled some of my old songs and she recycled some of her old songs. And after we started really this duo and we tour, and then the second album is this Searching for the Disappearing Hour, where we wrote more for each other, but we still recycle some little thing from other people, other bands. And this last album, we really know much more our vocabulary, and we really wrote for each other. And it's really fun to tour with Mary, and yeah, we are really close friends. Also with Kenya and Drew, that's very important for me to be able to show you weakness when you play, because it's what I do with my trio. I tell them, yeah, I know you're much better rhythmically than me, so if I speed up, let me know. If I do that, let me know. And they tell me now. They didn't tell me 10 years ago. They didn't dare. But now, I mean, we were not close enough, you know.
Sure, yeah.
When you work, you say, hey, do I speed up here? Or what did I do? And yeah, it's really, and it's hard to be relaxed also when you play and dare stuff. Dare to experiment new stuff without, you know, dare to do mistake, dare to be wrong.
Yeah.
But we try to do always something different. It's what I like with Kenny and Drew. I mean, we were like on the road every night. We tried different approach of solo, different approach. The ink is the ink, but even then we tried different dynamic, different tempos. And with Mary, it's the same thing. She's ready to fuck up.
Yeah.
Like that. Because I'm not interested to do a concert where the solo is always kind of the same, you know. So I'm not going on the road. It's too hard to be on the road to do that.
Yeah.
When I'm on the road, I want to be with a public on the moment and try to improvise and create on the moment with our, you know, like what happened during the day with our feeling and experiment challenges and not what we know already.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so important to be on the road, yeah. Because otherwise, you know, playing 14 gigs, you can be on autopilot really easy, right?
Yeah, no.
So, yeah.
So that's why, I mean, yeah. So we have also a tour with Mary, and I'm really excited about that because she's ready to do one gig totally different than the other, you know.
Yeah, you have to learn that. I mean, I remember I did like 15 years ago one of the first tours with Tony Malabi. And we played a repertoire, and we played the first gig. It was incredible gig. Second gig, same tune. I kind of go in the same zone, right? Like yesterday. And, you know, Tony just has closed eyes. He's not joining. I'm like, shit, you know, what am I doing wrong? And then I asked him after the gig, and he was like, man, you know, it's different audience, different venue. I feel different. we just don't go in the same zone. I was like, oh shit, yeah, of course. Like, kind of beginner's mistake in a way, but what you were saying now, it's like,
Yeah, yeah, because you get bored.
yeah, exactly.
Like for example, okay, if you do double time, like soon, you are not going to do that next time, tomorrow,
Yeah.
because it worked on that night. If you try to copy, which works really well the night before, that's a rule. You don't do that. It might happen in the 5 nights that you do something similar.
Yeah.
It comes back naturally, but it's like planning a solo. Planning, you can't. Then it gets boring.
It's a pop band, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sylvie, you're from Switzerland, and how did you get started in jazz? I mean, what's your story there? Like, you have now, your original voice, but like, who were your influences? Or
My first influence is probably my dad. I mean, my dad he's a travel agent, but he's also a pianist. So he played in wedding bands, and he had two bands, the Swinging Jokers and the Swinging Joker. No, what's the name? The Aftershave Band and the Swinging Joker. So it's Dixieland bands. And when I was a kid, I was playing in his band. I was singing and I was playing the right hand. And yeah, my mom was not very happy about that because I was coming home too late and at school the next morning. But I realized my dad was not very happy when he had to go to work. But when he plays the piano, he was happy. Every night he come home, he play the piano, and I realized, yeah, maybe music makes you happy. And I realized I want to do that. I was 6. I told my parents I will become a pianist. She said, no, you cannot become a pianist. That's not a profession. You can become a nurse or you do a real job, and piano is on the side. Okay, but I knew I wanted to just do that. I don't want to do another job.
yeah. What about jazz? Like, also through your dad? Like, or who were the first pianists that?
I mean, when I was 16, I mean, I always loved Monk.
Mm.
My dad also listened to Monk. He's a big fan. And I always loved, after it was Paul Bley. I love Paul Bley. And after I heard Jerry Allen when I was 16, I went to Willy's House Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Jerry Allen so much too. Joachim Kuhn,
Oh, yeah.
of course, Keith Jarrett, Cecil Taylor, all this, yeah.
Mm.
Irene Schweitzer,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Carla
That's amazing.
Bley, her songs, I love her music. And I really, yeah, that was my beloved.
Yeah.
I love piano trio in general.
Yeah. Did you
So
immediately start band leading in Switzerland? Because I know those first records, they're quite different in a sense what you're doing now, like the Enja ones with Michel Godard. And
yeah.
when does the band leading start for you? And that's
When I was
beginning?
22, I
Oh,
was at the classical conservatory and I did Siena jazz.
hmm.
And, it used to be 1 month, and I was 17, 18, I did that. And after my first band, I know, I was 19 or 20. And it was the Sylvie Courvoisier Quintetto. And even if I was studying classical, I wanted to play jazz, and it was really out. I mean, I wrote this kind of blues, and you see, it's a real young girl. It's not good,
Sure. I mean, yeah, we learn. Yeah.
but it's a young girl writing. But the tunes are interesting. I was already, and all the guys who were playing with me were a bit older, and after I remember I had a white, how do you say, carte blanche.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, carte
Yeah.
blanche in Zurich, they asked me. And they say, invite me someone famous. And I didn't know, but I said, oh, maybe I would like tuba. And I said, yeah, I'll ask Michel Godard.
Ah, okay.
So it's how I met Michel. I invited him with a quintetto in Zurich. And after Zurich, after Michel asked me to play in his quartet. And we play in duo also. And after I met Mark Nausif, and after Pierre Charial, and I
Yeah.
did Earth. And yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff. But I was always, studying, finished my conservatory. I was 23, I think, but I was still doing my jazz and thing on the side. Kind of.
Mm. Was it habit for you in the beginning to become a band leader? I mean, especially coming from the, let's say, classical world, which is doesn't have in a sense a band leader, like you know what I mean? Like,
For me, it was natural, maybe
ah,
because I was a Boy Scout and I love to lead bands and I love writing music always. Already when I was 10, I remember when I discovered Baudelaire, I was writing it to music, all around with a
mm,
poem, and I was very romantic at that time, and you know, and uh, and I really wanted to play my songs.
yeah,
I did wrote one piece for chamber orchestra, and it's not the same. But when you write for people who create, also it's different.
yeah,
So, but
yeah.
even if you listen to my first album, the quintetto, I think there is a record from '92 or something like that. Um, I think you can find it somewhere. Uh, I think it's even on Apple Music.
I listened to Okra today, like the Enja one. I have it on CD. So
Yeah. If you go to Sylvie Courvoisier Quintetto
okay, I'll check it out.
on Apple Music, you find it. It's on Unit. I don't know what it is.
Oh, the Swiss one, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you see really it's a young girl. Wow. But the tunes, I mean, the writing is kind of interesting because it's already, you can see, yeah, you kind of recognize maybe a tiny bit that it's my writing. My playing is really bad. I mean, anyway, you know,
Sure, but yeah, if we all listen back to 20, 30 years ago, you're like, man, okay. I'm the same. I really like my writing from 25 years ago, but my playing, I'm like, oh, fuck, man.
yeah.
I should have practiced more or something. I don't know. You have all these
No,
incredible
but
players around you. And
I think, if you have ideas and tunes, and it's good to write it and just do it.
yeah,
And,
that's how
it's
we
nice
learn.
to see that at least something is getting a bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Uh, when does this transition for you start? Mostly you're playing with New York guys now. And when did New York happen for you? And how was that like for you coming from Switzerland to New York into this jungle of craziness and creativity?
Because I really didn't want it to go to New York. When I was 18, I got a scholarship from Juilliard, or 19, to go to go to there. But they gave me a scholarship for 6 months, and I still have to pay my airplane and
Mm,
the lodging. I said no, I don't want to go there. So, and I was happy in Switzerland. I didn't want it to go. But when I got older, I felt to be a woman in Switzerland, musician, there was a lot. It was hard.
mm,
A lot of misogyny, a lot of. And after I did Baden jazz meeting in '95, and I met Mark Feldman, and met a lot of American, also Thomas Chapin, and
mm,
in '96 I went to America just to do a few gigs with Thomas, with Mark, with his knitting factory,
yeah.
and all these guys say, oh, you should move to New York for a couple of months, and I say, okay, okay. And after in '97, I become uh, Mark Feldman become my boyfriend. So I say, okay, I come for 3 months to see if I like him. And, yeah, I got married and I stayed 20 years with him. Now I'm divorced, but even if I'm divorced, I love New York. I will see what will happen because yeah, we live in a fascist country now,
Yeah,
and every day
it's
it's
crazy.
scarier and scary.
It's crazy, yeah.
And yet something has to happen. Because for the art, it will be a disaster. For a woman, it will be a disaster. For, for the climate, I mean,
Yep.
even the word climate is forbidden now. The artificial intelligence will, if you write something about climate, they will check you. It will be red flagged.
Yeah.
It's like, where are we? And then you see all over Europe this race, like, and I mean, the people I meet, I mean, there's nobody believing in him. So I don't know who are these mega people? Who are these fascist people?
Yeah, it's true. It's
I don't know where they are.
Definitely not in New York, I think. So that's for sure, as much as I know it. So
There is in New
yeah.
York. There is.
Mm.
And that scares me. It's like, who are these people? Why? Why are they so frustrated?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really scared. And what is happening in Ukraine, and
Yeah, it's a bizarre one. 2025, and it's still the same as, almost 80 years ago, almost, if you think about it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'll do positive. I
Let's
just,
talk about something else. Sorry.
yeah, I'll not go so dark, but no, I just wanted to ask you about New York still. Like, how was it for you in the beginning? You started to play with all these incredible creative musicians. Uh, you come in from Switzerland, and
And I realized, wow, they all know much better than me. And I realized, so I went I had an upright piano, a small room. I practiced so much. And I was going out every night to hear gigs. And I was like, wow, the level was so high. And I said, wow, I thought I was good. Because in Europe, like in Switzerland or France, or I was playing with a lot of Dutch guys, I was
yeah,
pretty good. But there I was like, wow. And Mark really pushed me, saying, you have to practice that. I even went back to take lesson. I found this great pianist, and Nagolansky. I redid my whole technique, and
wow.
and uh, and yeah, and I received, like, they really kicked my ass.
Yeah, that's so important.
And I think I was 27, and it's exactly what I needed, because I got so much recognition in Europe then. I got gigs, I was playing festival, I was, receiving prize in Switzerland, blah, blah, blah. And I think if I would have stayed here, I would just be in my comfort zone. And it's yeah, it's easy to be, I don't know. It was too easy for me in Switzerland.
Yeah, interesting.
It was good to be in a neutral part, but nobody knew me. And had to start again, and it was kind of good.
Yeah. What was ECM important for you? Like Abaton, how was that like for you recording for ECM, being such an important piano label? I'll put it like that. Some of the most.
It was, I mean, at the time it was super important. It was great. And yeah, and I love Manfred. I think he's a fantastic producer.
Yeah.
And for different personal reasons, we didn't work on, but you probably know the story with his.
Sure.
So, but I think Manfred is a genius. The way he can hear everything, and yeah. And I remember I was planning to do one album, and after Manfred just said, improvise a little bit, and we did a second album, just improvise.
Yeah. But you found your home then in Intact, which like for more than 15 years, and how did Intact contact you? I mean, what's the story there?
I mean, I think in 1999, I did a duo album with Lucas Niglis, who was already on Intact. And it's more like Lucas duo, and we did that. And after, I really liked Patrick, and with Intact, I can do a lot of records. I don't have to wait.
That's important.
And it's not as prestigious as ECM or something like that. But they give me the freedom to do whatever I want. And if I want to do 2 albums a year, I could, or 1 album.
Yeah.
And for me, it was more important I need to produce a certain amount. Like, I think this year I recorded like 5 albums.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so now I'm working more with Intact and with Pyroclastic.
Yeah.
Which works, I mean.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's no rules anymore, right? In the record industry. I mean, there's like, if you compare it to 30 years ago or 20 years, it's definitely different.
But for sure, when I did the ECM, that was 2003, it was very important for me.
Yeah.
After 2003, I didn't do no album until 2006, because you have to wait for Manfred to be ready for the next one. And And I couldn't play this game, so I said, okay, we can
Yeah.
do it with someone else.
Yeah, I like that you can nowadays do as much as you want. I mean, that's so important, right? Just to document where you are and
To document, it's not, even if you don't even put it out on a label, you can put it on Bandcamp
yeah,
or whatever. It's it's a trace of what you do, you know.
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe the less important, it's just to put on Bandcamp. The more important album.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Sylvie, what's still for the schedule for you for this year? I mean, touring wise or album wise, and
You know, I have to admit, I have a lot of tour plan, a lot of album plan, but you know, I'm supposed to play at Kennedy Center next month.
oh wow, the trio or
No, with Jason Moran, Wadada, and Mary.
oh wow,
You know, are we going to do it? Like now, Trump is the director of the Kennedy Center.
fantastic.
Cancel it. I don't think we'll play it.
Mm,
I mean, it's Jason's gig, so we'll see what he says. But it's just like, you know, I'm seeing a bit dark, I have to admit. I have a tour with Mary in April. I'm going to do Knoxville in March and
mm.
have some solo somewhere in America. But I don't know if we will be able to do all that.
Europe is better, right? For touring anyway. I mean,
For now,
it's gotten worse after COVID. At least that's my
yeah, but see what is happening. If Trump is signing something with
oh yeah, the customs thing and yeah.
Russia, we are starting a third world war.
Yeah.
I think we can forget about touring. But anyway, I'm planning to tour with Mary in April if everything goes well in Europe. In America solo, I have some gigs. So
Mm.
what do I do? We do Knoxville with Chimera, with
Oh
Wadada,
wow, beautiful.
2 drummers with Kenny and Nasheed.
Ooh.
And it's what we toured last summer. It was great. And with Ikwe, who is subbing for Finesse because Finesse couldn't get a visa. And then who else? And Drew.
Wow, amazing.
And in May, I have another solo tour in Europe. And I'm releasing another album in duo with Wadada in October. That's on Intact, October 3rd. And we have a tour in Europe, which is just after that, I think end of October 19th starting, I think.
Fantastic.
And that's his last tour in Europe.
Wow. Then he'll stop touring or wow.
Before. And yeah, and after I'm going to South America in November with Nasheed Waits and Ned Rothenberg.
Oh really? Oh man, okay, fantastic.
So, and that's where we are recording also this album.
Fantastic.
And I'm recording also in April another group called Amalthea. It's originally I called it Poppy Seed, but I changed the name. And it's with Patricia Brennan, Dan Wise, Thomas Morgan.
Ah, with the youngsters, okay.
Youngster. They're all younger than me.
Good now.
Yeah, I
Oh,
need
but
to do that.
brilliant band.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Good to see you being creative and releasing all this stuff and fantastic. Looking forward.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, we gotta stay positive.
Okay, I hope you're right because I have to admit this last week I become really, really down.
Yeah, I know it's yeah. I just don't watch the news, you know, and stuff like that. I try to be in a bubble, but it can be dark if you let it. Yeah, it can be dark. But yeah, but hope you'll get better health-wise and
And
enjoy
I
some.
got greetings from Drew. He say hi.
Yes.
I told him I'm going to.
Oh, thank you. I haven't seen him for such a long time. Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I hope I hear you sometime.
Yeah, that we drink a glass of wine together here in my country. So,
That'd be great.
but definitely, or even play one day. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Sylvie, thank you so much. Stay strong, positive.
Bye.